Change is the only constant in life. No matter how much we try to resist it, no matter how much we wish for things to stay the same, life will always find a way to shift, evolve, and transform. It is a natural process, one that we must learn to accept rather than fight against. The people we know, the places we love, the situations we find ourselves in, none of them are permanent. The reality of life is that nothing stays the same forever. Everything will change one day, and the sooner we understand this truth, the easier it becomes to navigate the journey ahead. Often, people cling to familiarity because it gives them a sense of security. They get comfortable in their routines, relationships, and surroundings, believing that stability means happiness. But the moment something disrupts that sense of security, they struggle to cope. Cope. They feel lost, confused, and overwhelmed because they never prepared themselves for the inevitable change. It is not life's job to stay the same for us. It is our responsibility to adapt to the changes life presents. Holding on too tightly to what once was will only make it harder to accept what is and what could be. The fear of change is deeply rooted in uncertainty. People like to be in control, and when things start shifting, they feel powerless. But the truth is, resisting change does not stop it from happening. It only creates more suffering. The more we resist, the harder life feels. Instead of seeing change as something to fear, we must learn to embrace it as a natural part of life's process. When we accept that change is inevitable, we start seeing challenges as opportunities rather than obstacles. We become more flexible, more open-minded, and more capable of handling whatever life throws our way. Some changes are small and easy to adjust to, while others shake us to our core. Losing a loved one, facing a major setback, or watching relationships fade away, these are painful experiences that force us to confront the reality of impermanence. It is in these moments that we must remind ourselves that nothing lasts forever, not even pain. Just as happiness is fleeting, so is sorrow. No situation, no emotion, no struggle is permanent. Everything changes, including our ability to heal and move forward. One of the biggest mistakes people make is trying to control what is beyond their power. They try to hold on to things that are meant to leave. They try to recreate moments that have already passed, and they fight against the natural flow of life. But true peace comes from understanding that we cannot control everything. What we can control, however, is how we respond to change. We can choose to resist and suffer, or we can choose to accept and grow. Those who master the art of adaptation find themselves less burdened by stress and fear because they understand that life is a cycle of beginnings and endings, gains and losses. When we accept change, we open ourselves to new possibilities. A closed door may feel like an ending, but it often leads to new opportunities that we never imagined. Holding on to the past blinds us to the beauty of the present and the potential of the future. We must trust that every change happens for a reason, even if we cannot see it in the moment. Sometimes, what we perceive as loss is actually redirection, guiding us towards something greater. Life is unpredictable. We do not always get to choose what changes come our way, but we do get to choose how we face them. Instead of fearing change, we should learn to adapt. It's to flow with it rather than fight against it. So, growth happens when we step out of our comfort zones, when we let go of outdated beliefs, and when we embrace the unknown with courage. The sooner we accept this, the more at peace we will be with life's transitions. Nothing stays the same forever, and that is not something to fear. It is something to accept, because only by accepting change can we truly move forward and make the most of the time we have. Life is an unpredictable journey, constantly evolving with new challenges, experiences, and transitions. One of the most important lessons we can learn is to stop resisting change and instead Embrace it with an open heart and mind. Resisting change only leads to frustration, stress, and emotional exhaustion. No matter how much we wish for things to stay the same, reality does not work that way. Everything is in a state of motion. Our relationships, our careers, our surroundings, and even our own thoughts and emotions. The sooner we accept this fundamental truth, the easier it becomes to navigate life's steep hits and downs. People often resist change because of the fear of the unknown. The mind is wired to seek comfort and stability, but change disrupts that, pushing us into unfamiliar territory. This fear of uncertainty is what holds many people back from reaching their true potential. They hesitate to take risks, to make necessary decisions, or to let go of things that no longer serve them, simply because they are afraid of what comes next. But what if, instead of fearing the unknown, we saw it as an opportunity? What if we trusted that change is not meant to destroy us, but to help us grow? Every major transformation in life begins with uncertainty. Think about the biggest milestones in your life. Starting a new job, moving to a new place, entering a new relationship, or making an important decision. In the beginning, these changes may have felt intimidating, even overwhelming. But as time passed, you adapted, learned new things, and evolved into a stronger, wiser version of yourself. This is proof that embracing change, rather than resisting it, leads to personal growth and progress. Some of the most successful and fulfilled people in the world are those who have learned to embrace change rather than fear it. They understand that change is necessary for evolution. They do not see challenges as obstacles, but as opportunities to learn and improve. When faced with unexpected situations, they do not dwell on what is lost, but focus on what can be gained. This mindset allows them to stay resilient and flexible in an ever-changing world. Resisting change, on the other hand, creates unnecessary suffering. When we cling to the past, to outdated habits, or to relationships that no longer align with us, we only make things harder for ourselves. The reality is that life does not pause for anyone. Time moves forward, and the more we resist, the more we struggle. We waste energy trying to control things that are beyond our power instead of directing our focus on what we can change. Our attitude, our perspective, and our willingness to adapt. It is important to understand that change does not always come in the form we expect. Sometimes it arrives as an unexpected challenge, a painful loss, or a major shift that forces us out of our comfort zones. In those moments, we may feel like life is unfair, that we are losing more than we are gaining. But often, it is these very changes that shape us the most. It is through adversity that we develop resilience, patience, and strength. Every struggle carries a lesson, and every ending makes room for a new beginning. Instead of seeing change as a disruption, we should start seeing it as a teacher. Change teaches us how to be flexible, how to let go of our fears, and how to trust the process of life. It teaches us that nothing is permanent, which means that neither our hardships nor our successes will last forever. This realization helps us appreciate the present moment more fully. When we stop resisting and start embracing change, we free ourselves from unnecessary worries and anxieties. We start living with a sense of ease, knowing that we are capable of handling whatever comes our way. One of the greatest advantages of embracing change is the ability to adapt and evolve. Life is full of surprises, and those who can adjust quickly are the ones who thrive. When we accept that change is inevitable, we become more open to new experiences, new opportunities, and new perspectives. We stop holding on to rigid plans and instead learn to flow with life. This does not mean we stop working towards our goals, but rather, we learn to be flexible in our approach. We trust that even if things do not go exactly as planned, there's still a way forward. At the core of embracing change is faith. Faith in ourselves, faith in our ability to grow, faith that life has a way of working out in the end. When we shift our mindset from one of resistance to one of acceptance, we empower ourselves to move forward with confidence and grace. Change is not something to be feared. It is a natural part of life. And when we learn to embrace it, we unlock a world of possibilities and endless growth. One of the most challenging aspects of life is dealing with things that are out of our control. We often find ourselves wishing that certain circumstances were different, that people would act a certain way, or that life would follow the plan we have laid out in our minds. But reality does not work that way. Life unfolds in unpredictable ways, and trying to control everything only leads to disappointment and frustration. The key to moving forward is learning to let go and accepting that not everything is meant to be controlled. Letting go does not mean giving up. It means freeing yourself from the burden of trying to force things to happen the way you want them to. It means understanding that some situations, no matter how much effort you put in, will not change in the way you desire. There will be times when people will disappoint you, relationships will end, opportunities will slip away, and unexpected challenges will arise. Holding on to resentment, regret, or frustration only drains your energy and prevents you from seeing the new opportunities that lie ahead. One of the biggest struggles people face is letting go of the past. Many hold on to old wounds, reliving painful experiences over and over again, hoping for some kind of resolution that may never come. But the past cannot be changed. No matter how much we analyze it, no matter how much we wish things had turned out differently, the reality is that it is over. What truly matters is what we choose to do in the present. When we let go of past pain, we give ourselves the gift of peace. We allow ourselves to move forward without carrying unnecessary emotional baggage. Another important aspect of letting go is releasing the need for external validation. Too often, people seek approval from others to feel worthy or successful. They compare their lives to those around them, constantly worrying about what others think. But when we base our happiness on the opinions of others, we give them power over our emotions. True freedom comes from understanding that our worth is not defined by external validation. Letting go of this need allows us to focus on our own growth, happiness, and personal journey without being weighed down by the expectations of others. Sometimes we also need to let go of relationships that no longer serve us. And this can be one of the hardest things to do because as human beings, we crave connection and familiarity. However, not all relationships are meant to last forever. Some people come into our lives to teach us lessons, and once that lesson is learned, their role in our journey may come to an end. Holding on to toxic relationships out of fear of being alone or out of habit only causes more harm in the long run. Letting go of negative relationships creates space for healthier, more fulfilling connections. Letting go also applies to our fears and self-doubt. Many people hold themselves back from pursuing their dreams because they are afraid of failure. They cling to their comfort zones, unwilling to take risks because they do not want to face disappointment. But growth comes from stepping into the unknown. When we let go of fear and trust in our abilities, we open ourselves up to endless possibilities. Every successful person has faced setbacks, but what sets them apart is their ability to move forward despite fear. It is important to remember that letting go is a process. It does not happen overnight. It takes time, effort, and conscious practice. It requires us to reframe our mindset, shift our focus from what we have lost to what we can gain, and trust that life has a way of working things out. Letting go does not mean forgetting. It means making peace with the past and choosing to move forward without being held back by it. When we learn to let go, we create space for new opportunities, new relationships, and new experiences. We allow ourselves to grow, to evolve, and to embrace the present moment fully. Life is too short to be spent clinging to things that no longer serve us. The sooner we learn to release what we cannot control, the lighter and freer we become. And in that freedom, we find true peace, happiness, and the ability to embrace life's ever-changing nature with an open heart. Life is a series of changes. And whether we like it or not, everything around us is constantly evolving. Ziong, now? The people we once knew so well may drift away. The situations we thought were permanent may dissolve, and the things we once desired may no longer hold the same value. Yet, many of us resist this change. We hold on to what is familiar, fearing the unknown, struggling against the natural flow of life. Why? But the truth is, resisting change only brings unnecessary pain. When we accept reality for what it is rather than what we wish it to be, we allow ourselves to grow, to heal, and to move forward without being weighed down by unrealistic expectations. One of the hardest things for people to accept is that nothing stays the same forever. It is human nature to seek stability, to hold on to the things that bring us comfort. We often build our lives around certain relationships, jobs, routines, or beliefs. And when these things begin to shift, it can feel unsettling. However, change is not the enemy. It is a necessary part of life. Without it, we remain stuck in the same patterns, unable to evolve into the person we are meant to become. Learning to embrace the temporary nature of everything allows us to live with more ease, appreciating what we have while it lasts without becoming overly attached. People change, and that is a reality that many struggle to accept. The friendships that once felt unbreakable may fade, not because of any wrongdoing, but simply because people grow in different directions. The love that once felt endless may come to an unexpected end, leaving us wondering what went wrong. But change in relationships does not always mean failure. It means that people are evolving, that life is taking them on different paths. Instead of clinging to relationships that no longer align with who we are, we must learn to appreciate them for what they were and move forward with grace. Holding on to the past only prevents us from welcoming new connections that are better suited for our present selves. Opportunities also come and go, and sometimes what we once considered the perfect plan for our future may no longer make sense. Many people become frustrated when things do not go according to their expectations. They set rigid goals, believing that success must come in a specific form. And when circumstances shift, they feel lost. But life has a way of redirecting us to where we truly need to be. What may seem like a setback is often a hidden blessing, guiding us towards something even greater. Accepting that plans will change and being open to new possibilities allows us to navigate life with a sense of flexibility and curiosity, rather than fear and disappointment. One of the most freeing realizations is understanding that we cannot control everything. No matter how much we plan, worry, or try to force things to stay the same, life will continue to move forward on its own terms. Unexpected events will happen, people will make their own choices, and not everything will work out the way we envisioned. Instead of wasting energy fighting against reality, we should focus on what we can control. Our actions, our mindset, and our ability to adapt. When we shift our perspective from frustration to acceptance, we empower ourselves to make the best of any situation rather than being defeated by it. The heart of accepting reality is the ability to let go of the past. Many people live with regret, replaying old memories, wishing they could undo certain moments. But no amount of dwelling on the past will change it. The only thing we can control is how we move forward. Carrying the weight of past mistakes, disappointments, or heartbreaks only slows us down. True strength lies in learning from the past, making peace with it, and using those lessons to build a better future. Acceptance does not mean passivity. It does not mean giving up on dreams or settling for less. It simply means understanding that life is unpredictable and that our ability to move forward depends on our willingness to let go of unrealistic expectations. When we stop resisting change, we free ourselves from unnecessary suffering. We learn to find joy in the present moment rather than being stuck in what could have been. The sooner we accept that everything in life is temporary, the sooner we can fully embrace the journey ahead. Life is full of unexpected twists and turns, and the sooner we understand that, the easier it becomes to navigate through the journey. One of the biggest struggles people face is their attachment to things, people, and situations that are no longer meant for them. Whether it's a past relationship, a lost opportunity, or a failed plan, the inability to let go keeps many stuck in a cycle of pain and disappointment. However, the truth is, nothing in life is permanent. Everything changes. And learning to accept this reality is the key to moving forward with strength and peace. Often, we hold on to the past because it feels safe. Even if it hurt us, it is familiar. And the idea of stepping into the unknown is terrifying. But clinging to something that no longer serves us only delays our growth. Imagine holding onto a rope that is burning your hands. The longer you grip it, the more pain you feel. Letting go might be difficult at first. But once you do, you give yourself the chance to heal. Life works in the same way. The moment we stop resisting change and start embracing it, we allow ourselves to move forward and create something better. One of the hardest aspects of accepting change is dealing with broken relationships. Whether it is a friendship that fades, a love that ends, or family ties that weaken, losing people who were once close to us is painful. But not everyone is meant to stay in our lives forever. Some people come into our lives to teach us lessons, help us grow, or guide us through a certain phase. When their purpose is fulfilled, they may leave, and that is okay. Instead of mourning their absence, we should be grateful for the role they played in shaping us. Holding on to resentment or trying to force people to stay only creates more suffering. True peace comes when we accept that some people are meant to be part of our story for only a few chapters, not the entire book. Another area where people struggle to accept change is in their careers and ambitions. Many set their hearts on a specific goal, believing that their success and happiness depend on it. But as life unfolds, plans may change. Maybe the dream job turns out to be unfulfilling, or a business venture does not go as planned. Many see this as failure, but in reality, it is just a redirection or opposite. Sometimes, what we think we want is not what we actually need. Life has a way of leading us toward what is truly meant for us. But we must be willing to trust the process. Clinging to a failed plan only delays our progress. The sooner we accept that things are changing, the sooner we can adjust and move forward in a new and better direction. Change is also evident in our personal growth. Who we were 5 years ago is not who we are today. Our interests, priorities, and perspectives evolve, and that is a natural part of life. However, some people resist their own growth because they fear what others will think. They hold on to old versions of themselves to fit in or to avoid judgment. But the truth is, we are meant to grow and change. Staying the same just to please others means sacrificing our true potential. The most successful and fulfilled individuals are those who embrace their evolution, even if it means leaving behind old habits, relationships, or environments that no longer aligned with them. Letting go and moving on does not mean forgetting or dismissing the past. It simply means acknowledging it, learning from it, and allowing ourselves to embrace what comes next. Change is inevitable, but suffering is a choice. When we resist the natural flow of life, we create unnecessary struggles for ourselves. But when we learn to accept, adapt, and move forward, we open the door to new opportunities, better experiences, and a deeper sense of peace. At the end of the day, everything in life is temporary. The good times, the bad times, the people we meet, and the challenges we face, all of it is part of the journey, constantly changing and shaping us. Instead of fearing change, we should welcome it as a sign of growth and new possibilities. Life does not wait for anyone, so the best thing we can do is accept the reality of change and keep moving forward. Life is a continuous cycle of change, and no matter how much we try to control everything, there will always be moments when things do not go as planned. We invest our time, energy, and emotions into people, dreams, and expectations, only to realize that life has a different path in store for us. The truth is, holding on to what is already gone only brings unnecessary suffering. The more we resist, the more pain we create for ourselves. Accepting reality and moving forward is not a sign of weakness or giving up. It is an act of strength, wisdom, and self-respect. Many people struggle with letting go because they feel that doing so means that everything they fought for was meaningless. But moving on does not mean forgetting or disregarding the past. It means recognizing that certain chapters of our lives have served their purpose and that it is time to turn the page. Whether it is a failed relationship, an unfulfilled dream, or a missed opportunity, holding on to what could have been only drains us. When we accept that not everything is meant to last forever, we allow ourselves the freedom to grow, evolve, and welcome new opportunities that align better with who we are becoming. One of the biggest lessons in life is understanding that nothing stays the same. The people who once promised to stay may walk away. The dreams that once excited us may no longer inspire us. The situations that once made us happy may become sources of stress. It is in these moments that we must remind ourselves that life is a process of constant transformation. Trying to force things to remain the same is like trying to hold onto sand. It will only slip through our fingers. Instead of fearing change, we should embrace it as an opportunity to redefine our path and discover new possibilities. When we resist change, we often live in denial, creating illusions that keep us stuck. We replay old memories, hoping that things will return to how they once were. But the past cannot be changed. The only thing we have control over is our present and how we choose to move forward. Instead of asking, "Why did this happen to me?" we should ask, "What can I learn from this?" Every experience, whether good or bad, has a lesson hidden within it. It is through these lessons that we gain wisdom, resilience, and the ability to navigate life with a stronger mindset. Letting go also means freeing ourselves from unnecessary emotional burdens. Carrying resentment, regret, or disappointment only weighs us down. The longer we hold on to these emotions, the more they consume us. Forgiveness plays a key role in moving on, not just forgiving others, but also forgiving ourselves. We must accept that we are human, that we make mistakes, and that not everything is within our control. Instead of punishing ourselves for the past, we should give ourselves permission to heal and embrace a future that is still full of potential. Accepting reality and moving on also requires a shift in perspective. Often, we view endings as losses, when in reality, they are simply transitions. What feels like a setback might actually be a setup for something greater. Sometimes, the things we desperately want to hold on to are the very things that are preventing us from stepping into a better version of our lives. When we shift our focus from what we have lost to what we can gain, we begin to see change as a gift rather than a punishment. At the core of acceptance is the understanding that we are always evolving. The things that matter to us today may not matter in a few years. The pain we feel now may one day become a distant memory. What once seemed like the end of the world may later reveal itself as the beginning of something beautiful. Time has a way of revealing the true purpose of our struggles, but only if we allow ourselves to move forward with an open heart and an open mind. Life is not about clinging to what is comfortable. It is about embracing the unknown with courage. It is about trusting that even when things do not go as planned, something better is waiting for us. The moment we stop resisting change and start welcoming it, we free ourselves from unnecessary suffering and open the door to new beginnings. Change is inevitable, but our growth is a choice. Instead of fearing the uncertainty of the future, we should have faith that every ending brings with it a new opportunity to rewrite our story.